Let's go! What's up, everybody? It is the crew. This is the What's the Agenda podcast crew. Go. What's up, everybody? My name is Leo, aka Mac Leo 2 Saucy, and I am very excited because right now we're getting into something new, something exciting. We got a podcast. It's called What's the Agenda, as you can see up there, and I got my very lovely crew with me. Lovely Miss Shan UK, as you can see. We got the lovely Miss Kira London, right? And I got the man himself, Mr. Kenny Kenson.
One and only.
That you got number
One and only
95, right? This is a brand new podcast, that it's gonna touch on everything that is to be human, and what we do as people, what we get on, what we think as people, our opinions on different aspects of life, from culture to everything that we go through as humans, right? It's human nature, really. But listen, without further ado, let's get into it. And the first thing we really want to touch on today is people and culture.
That's a great topic.
People.
That's a great topic.
And culture, right? People and culture. So when I talk about people and culture, what comes to mind? Anybody? What comes to mind? All right. For example, like when I say people, I could say the people that come from Africa. I would take it because I'm an African, so I think that's the first place I would start, because for me that's home, and that's the motherland. And when I look at African culture, I look at the music, I look at the food, I look at obviously the politics and everything. That's neither here or there, but that's as much as that's part of it. There's something beautiful about people, like without people, like this world ain't really meaningful at all, right? And culture and people act like it's kind of meshes and coexists, right? Because without culture, we don't have no identity.
No identity, yeah, it's true.
You feel what I'm saying? So when I say people and culture, when I talk about culture, what springs to mind? Like for you, like it's a lot.
You just said it, like food as well.
Food, yeah.
Upbringing.
Dressing
Dancing,
code, yeah, the respect. It's all about everything. That's what you can say, yeah.
So as people, and do you feel like culture and people do they always mesh? Do you feel like some people really don't give a damn about their culture? Or do you think that people are just comfortable just being themselves, and I don't want to know about my culture?
It differs because it goes through generation to generation, you get me? So
very true.
During the evolution of the years, everything changes during the evolution together with the technology and all the situation that is happening, changes, you get me?
Yeah.
So every year there are a lot of changes. So even the culture, everything, it does change. So
it's true.
It does differ.
Because
sometimes
what our ancestors did is not the same thing.
It's not the same thing as
we had no Instagram back then. We had no Instagram back then. We had no TikTok. We had no nothing.
On the radios.
I don't think the culture changes. The dynamics of the culture, if we go into...
If we go to deep,
the culture doesn't change.
Right.
It's the people and how they are willing to carry on that culture.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point. It's
like
constant.
our ancestors.
Yeah.
But then we still go back to, like, for example, traditional weddings and stuff like that. Some, like us Africans, even the Indians do it. They have culture.
Yeah.
So we still go back to, why is it that sometimes there are certain things that our parents, for example, would say, you have to follow culture. They also learned it from their parents.
It's passed down.
It's still there.
Yeah.
But it's how we're going to, like, how we perceive it and how we use it in our daily life right now.
It's very true.
But then, if you leave the origin of the culture and you go abroad, it's hard to maintain culture.
That's also another aspect.
When you've got the local culture that the country that you're in now, it's hard to maintain your outside culture, your family's culture. Then you could be of mixed heritage. It's also hard to maintain the culture. So there's outside things.
It's actually still there.
Do you think can you pinpoint a particular reason as to why? Like, just piggybacking on your point, do you think it's a particular reason as to why, like, you find people find it hard enough, like, just to...
You could have two strong people from both strong cultural backgrounds, and they may not agree on things that they want to raise their child, kind of the upbringing.
Culture
So they
differences.
could be cuisine, could be religion, could be, you know, how they see themselves growing up in terms of like schooling or whatever, to be. So they could disagree, and then the child may be mixed, or it might be if they're following what the father wants, then they benefit from
Very
the
true
father's
as well.
culture
And touching on that point, you know, like how you have like mixing of cultures, right?
Yeah.
So someone from a different background marries another from a different background. You ever had these arguments where, but like, I want to raise my child in this country,
In this country,
but I don't want to raise my child in this
Yeah.
country,
Exactly, yeah.
or I want my child to be this. But then, so those things, and when a child is born, now you face a choice.
You face the choice now.
Should I follow my mother's side? Should I follow my father's
yeah,
side?
because I'm from my father's Catholic, my mom's Orthodox. I don't know what I am. I'm kind of
Yeah, right in the middle.
basically, when it came to religion, he didn't push. He just
didn't
like,
push
I'm
you.
Catholic, that's me, and he was more Orthodox, but he wasn't heavy on like religion and stuff.
Right. But half of the things that they told us that you can't eat this because this is going to happen, or your ancestors will be mad at you, and then you know you wake up in the morning, your hair's off.
Yeah, like
Or
whistling inside the house,
Or, yeah, or that. Or
opening
don't
the
pass
umbrella
under
is the
side.
old
Don't open
one.
an umbrella in the house.
Exactly, you get
It
me?
was to keep you
Breaking
in
the
line.
glass,
You want,
telling your
the
bad
parent
luck.
wants to keep you in line so that you can be formal as also they grow up. So you
Yeah.
have to be in a straight line, not be in a zigzag line.
Because once the relatives come over, you could say something that your parents would be embarrassed. Oh, I didn't teach my child the right way.
Don't
right?
embarrass me.
Exactly.
The briefing I used to get. Don't embarrass me.
Right.
Don't embarrass me or I'll get the belt for you. We had to know each other's culture.
Now let us get into the issues at hand.
The sauce in the hand.
Sauce in the hand.
Hey, the sauce,
What
yeah.
a super mungaro.
Hey, we're going to put your don't you take over with the hands?
The sauce.
Alright, cool. I feel you.
When you're back home, what do you eat? Do you use your fork to eat?
Sometimes.
When you're
You
eating,
use your
When
hands.
you use spaghetti with your hand,
Use
tell
your
me.
hands. Yes.
Yes, you can eat
Yes,
spaghetti with your
yes,
hand.
you do.
let me tell you, my brother, you're African. You're not a Mzungu.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You-
There's a way you
have to
sophisticated.
twist
You
and
have to,
fold.
you have to, you know,
Yeah, twist and
you have
fold,
to
right?
twist the hand. You get
Yeah,
me? Those
twist
fingers.
and then-
You have to.
Sure.
Even
I
like
know.
the kids, even like the
I
kids
know.
would-
At least I know this one.
You see, she
Something.
knows. So you see, you're going out of the culture. You see,
Alright.
There's no fault.
that's why when I say
When
the
he
sauce
goes
in
to
the
Uganda, I'm sure he's there behind closed
he's
doors.
already typing.
No,
You know, in
not
Ugandans
even
we say we
before.
type with all the
Yeah.
5 fingers. We
Even
type.
rice, I was shocked because I can't eat rice with my hands here now, but I used to. Back home in Uganda, we used to eat rice with our hands.
That's why in Uganda they say, "Oh, typinga." You put
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
5
that's it.
fingers, eh? You
You're
type.
typing with your fingers.
That's what, if you use the 3 fingers, it's okay, but 5, oh, typinga.
Now you see the men's way of.
And then they throw it.
You throw it in. Eh?
Right, but getting to the issues at hand. Now let's we're deep diving now. So
Sabura.
simple definition of culture is all the ways of life, including arts, beliefs, and institutions of a population that are passed down from generation to generation. We've established that. We all know that, right? Now, there's some things I really want to get into. And the first one being, I want to ask my crew, and I want to get their opinions and what they think about this. Like, from your experience and from what you know or what you learned through your life, what behavioral traits have you noticed from the people who were born and live here, or people who predominantly live here for most of their lives, to the people who still live in the countries where you were born, like your native countries? If you've been able to be back home, and what difference do you see? Like, let's that the first one would be like, what do you see in terms of education? Like, from the education system here and the education system back home, like, what do you see? Like, for me, what I see, like, for us here, like, I've been fortunate enough to actually go through, like, from college to uni, and we have benefits here. You got schemes whereby they give you loans, bro. Loans. Someone gives you 9K, and you don't even have to pay that back for years until you earn a certain amount. That's a privilege, right?
Yeah.
Free education too. I don't know, unless you want to go private and you got the money like that. Sorry, big baller. Cool, do your thing. And then in Uganda, you're paying school fees from nursery And I once checked the price from a nursery school kid for a term, bro. 1.3 mil.
Wow, that's 300.
3 months.
Yeah, for the first 3
for the
months.
first term.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, how is a single mother, single father, who doesn't have a good paying job gonna be able to pay for that? But you want your kid to study. How is a country gonna how do you think the country can actually put people into education or have a good put that type of help for people who don't have that type of facility? Like everybody has a right to education. And obviously, I get it because we in a Western world and we live in a Western country whereby those things exist. But in our countries, it's not there. And I feel for the kids because some of my friends who I grew up with were so smart, but they couldn't. But they never had the money. The parents we couldn't afford it. And it's that thing whereby the governments are really failing the people. They don't have these schemes in place.
Yeah.
That's for me in terms of education. That we don't have schemes that support kids to actually nurture them to actually pursue the stuff that they want to pursue. That's
because even here, you go to school, and then even some families who are lower income, the children get free school meals because they understand that at home even the children may not have the variety of food coming from home. So children here, not only is their school free, the meals that they get there is free.
And now they've started with they go on half term and
holidays. Vouchers for the grocery shop.
Food.
Wow, that's amazing.
Like £100 for each child. They started giving a voucher. Yeah, you go and shop. Then there's also the what's it called? Banks.
Yes.
For children who are less fortunate, like they know that their parents are maybe on low income. So the schools are now giving parents bank vouchers. You can go and just get, which is good, which we don't have back home. Then again, if I tap on that, there are also people here, like Africans, who actually come here and take advantage of that opportunity. If we have free education here, and I hate to see when African, like our African people, I'm talking on African, come here, you have an opportunity to go and study, and graduate, but then you it as it's nothing. And that's what now pisses off our parents. Our parents brought us here for an opportunity to do that, and you drop out of school. So when you realize that, I think it takes maturity as well. I had to now go back and say, no, let me do something because it's free.
It's free, yeah.
But even myself, I wasn't serious.
This opportunity.
Yeah,
I wasn't serious when it came to school.
Yeah.
But then when I became a parent, I was like, I can't tell my child to go to school and I haven't really got anything to say for myself. Yeah. They're gonna say, but look at you. What did you do?
Exactly.
So I was like, no. I have to have that graduation picture. I have to have it to show.
Never graduated.
Yeah, that's true.
They like the mothers. They were meant to stay at home. That's how culture, and the fathers go to work. But they educated us at home, and they would sell tomatoes and stuff on the streets just to send your child to school.
And that one is kind of like hurt. You feel that hurt feeling that way, but you see a mother waking up at 5 in the morning.
The difference is we have the opportunities,
but we misuse the opportunities.
Yeah.
We misuse it,
and it's so sad to see like Africans actually doing that, knowing that your
but they even provide some schools. I haven't seen it personally myself, but tablets, they can give tablets, laptops for you to be able to do your work at home.
Now they're giving computers, they're giving laptops.
It's just given to you. You know, imagine if the child was really switched on, they can go so far with that because everything is there for them.
Point to Ken, both of us are studied in Uganda. We know what it's like.
Like me, I've studied in 3 countries, so I can differentiate all the 3. Whereby in the beginning I studied in Italy, on in the nursery. Like the nursery, I used to remember in Italy we used to have like card meals. You get me? And if a parent doesn't pay, because I remember when I was back then, they used to tell my mom, "Oh, you have to pay certain money." When I remember that scenario, but then I was like, "Oh, so in Italy they pay meals." Going back to Uganda, even because I remember I studied in 3 schools in Uganda. In those 3 schools, before even going to a line of food, you need to have cleared the school fees.
Right.
Wow. So if you don't clear, you're not going to eat. I was like, wow.
They want to send you back home.
But would they allow you to study?
Yeah, they could allow you to study, but then sometimes, you know when the school runs shortage of money because they don't have funds for food. You don't eat. Wow. Me, like, do you know what we used to do? Like, okay, to cut the story short, we used even to share with some guys who like, guys, we can't let you starve. You get me? Come on, we share.
But is this a school that was a boarding school or was like a day school?
I studied in a day school on the first term. That was when I was in primary 1. Then the rest boarding.
So in boarding school, you could be missing meals.
You could be missing meals.
Because that's like you can miss a meal, but when you get home, you can eat. But if you're in boarding school,
like even in Uganda, I remember when I went back to Uganda to study in 2015 after having failed the education in Italy. I did face that challenge where I used to see kids missing food for real, and I'm not going to lie. Even the director himself used to come, tell your parents to pay money for the fees. And you could literally see a woman coming like in these African culture clothes, the Gomez.
Yeah.
And the lady would be like kneeling down, and all the elderly lady like in her 60s, pleading to a guy who's filthy rich, saying, please, at least let my child study in a term. But I like the former headmaster who was my former headmaster. At least you used to understand the people's feelings. It's called Tamale. That man was good. Yeah, Tamale Joseph. I know that name is funny. Yeah. But that name, I know when you say Tamale. Yeah, I know when you hear the name Tamale, you hear the other one. Rest in peace to the other original Tamale. But the one whom I'm speaking about, he was a good headmaster. You used to understand people's feelings. Like, you'll be like, you know what? Go and eat. Like, you cannot starve. You need to read books.
But how did that affect you? Especially you.
Okay, like me,
you have been born in Italy.
Okay, now me who was born here, I did face all these things. I used to say food was already provided to me. But when I went in Uganda, I really saw myself. I'm like, Ken, if you don't read books,
you're going to starve.
I was going to starve too.
You're going to starve.
Bro, I had to read Senior 3, Senior 4. And Senior 4 is the hardest class in the O level.
I never had that burden.
No, but honestly, O level in Uganda, if you don't read,
you're chopped.
If you don't read, you're not even capable to go to A level. And once you step in A level, you'll be like, finally, the burden is down.
Is it because you have to do all the subjects, right? 17, and then O level, you differentiate into specialize into your subject.
Studying 12 subjects, and each subject had like 1 paper, 2
18,
papers,
bro.
3 papers.
But I did 11 for GCSEs.
We did 18.
First, we used to do 8. Okay, Mom, I joined in Senior 3, so I'm not going to say I did.
Oh, you did 12, that's why.
Yeah, I did 12, so.
Senior 3.
Because if I said, and when I came here, I also saw another challenge for me. I was like, wow, a new challenge. It's like going level by level. So that's what I'm saying. Guys, if you're an African, once you get the opportunity to study, please use that occasion. Your parents, they're all praying for you. And the problem with some African people, I'm sorry to say so, Africans, once they come here, they get to know their fellow countrymates. They always enjoyment, clothes. They lose all, even the cultural interest that they had, even the old morals they had. They don't think about anything else.
They forget where they come from.
They forget where they come from, the poverty that their parents, they are in. That's what I'm saying.
And that affects the children as well.
Exactly.
And I have that. My mum's accent has never changed.
Yeah.
But when she's around a certain setting,
it will change naturally.
The Britishness come. No, my mum's accent never changed.
No, as in, if depending on who you're with, you accent.
Yeah, but sometimes it just jumps. I think it's when you're amongst your people.
Your brain,
the tongue just switches.
Yeah,
the tongue just switches.
Yeah. Like even him, I've seen him like going to an Italian accent.
No, but even
like with strangers that he doesn't know.
In Luganda, like it's just.
Yeah, when I speak in Luganda.
But now for me, when I speak Luganda, it's like, oh.
You sound like a robot. But anyway. Let's neither here or there. But for the crew.
With us.
So we talked about education, but do you feel? What do you feel like? Do you feel like we need to implement the same aspects like that we've seen here where we live? And how do you think that can happen? So we're gonna go one by one, so that I want to see like how everybody thinks. So So Kira, so for example, here how we have free education, how we have food banks, like you said, how you have clothes banks, how we have people. So we have schemes, we have things here we can support the less fortunate.
And I think we have a donating culture because if you go to Tesco, Sainsbury's, all those main supermarkets, they have that place where people can donate.
So when they have stuff that's left over, food that's left over, they put it in the food bank so you can get some, right?
Yeah,
now,
it's nice.
If you look at country where we come from, Uganda, or countries that are less fortunate, obviously people are poor, right? So they can't really be donating. You can't donate something.
If you don't have,
right?
Yeah.
But how do you think we can better support the less fortunate, or how do you think the government? If you were in a position of power of government,
like where, back home or here?
Back home.
Or
but here we have everything.
Yeah, here we have.
You don't have to complain about nothing. Yeah. The only way you can fail here is if you mess up yourself. Because everything is here. It's only you can let yourself down. But back home, whereby every day is a daily grind, whether you don't know where your next meal is going to come from, that's tough. So what do you think? Start with Kira. What do you think we can do if you were in a position of power? Uganda,
it's hard
everywhere.
For me. Yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah. But to me, the way I see it is, it's been an issue of years and years and years and years. The people's attitude has to change, and people would want but then again, you say, how can people of power, whoever help, they also have to change. They also want to help their own people. So it's quite hard because the attitude of the poor, I feel mentally, they just feel helpless.
Yeah.
And then you have, for example, I would speak to my dad and I'll ask him, if there's anyone back home in the village that needs something to start up. I won't give money because sometimes they wouldn't know what to do. They may use it for the wrong things. Yeah. But if someone needs a sewing machine or a laptop or something, just to give them that start to do what they need to do. So if a woman is a dressmaker, she doesn't have a sewing machine, I'll send that down for her and let her start. If they have that mindset where they want to do, because most time people just want to be given food, money, whatever. So that's their mindset. They want to be given or they take. And with the government situation or the people of power, it's more of them changing that mentality and want to help their people to make their country a great country.
So it's a mindset thing. It's not even about
I feel
resources.
Like it's change, because it's not something that just happened. It could have been, for example, natural disaster could have made everybody go poor, or it could have been a war or something after war. People may have that old, successful mindset, but if it's been years and years and years of just that's the
your mind is
that's
used
the standard
to it now.
that they have to change. The people have to change, and I feel like the people of power need to kind of put things into place. I don't know if they'll do what they do in England, be it just even pay school fees, but maybe the meals can be free.
That's what I always say
even if it's like 1% of the nation
at least
a tax just for the children to feed, because that's what the government done here. I think that guy, the footballer, is the one that was really passionate about the free school meals. He made that change. Because there was a change where they stopped and they put it back in.
I read his book and it comes from there. When I read his book, man, I was shocked. Because they gave his book to my daughter. They were giving his book for free to the kids in school. And when I read it, he said there's something he put in the book that they used to go to, his mom used to take them from school to her friend's house just to pretend that she's visiting, but the mum knew already because they couldn't, so that they can eat.
Oh my god!
They never had food, and this is England.
Wow!
So before we judge people, got stories.
Imagine that, and look at him now. So that's why he's giving back to
society. I remember there was a time when they were like, you have to apply and see if you qualify. And then they're like, actually, it's free for the whole of primary, because it used to stop from year 2.
Year 2,
And then they said, for the rest. And now we even get the vouchers and stuff like that. So
I imagine that, bro. You have to qualify to be hungry.
Like even me, I couldn't. No. Honestly, even me when I was in uni,
to qualify to not be hungry.
You have to be hungry, bro.
Like even that's when even I remember when I was in uni, our lecturer told us, guys, you apply for vouchers. Like from nowhere, I saw £50. I was like, wow. So this is what they do in England.
Yeah, even you can get sponsors, right? In uni. If you tell them a story and the charity applies to that, for example, maybe, let's say, immigration or whatever.
We're forgetting furniture.
Yeah, you can get funding for that.
They give you a house, you get furniture, they send you to charities where you can go and get and furnish your house.
But I think that little 1% of the nation, even if it's 10 I don't know, Ugandan, whatever shillings per head, equivalent to maybe £10 or maybe £5, that will do something that could make a little bit of a difference.
On that, like you said, we need to change the mindset of the people. I have a charity in Uganda. It's for the widows. So every year, I tell my family back there to choose 5 widows in rural areas. Poor. go and give them. We buy beans, rice, things that they need on a daily, like the daily. Once we start doing that as a people back home, I think that would become like make a change.
An avalanche.
And even the people that
we can get there, we will never change.
But even if you're doing that back home, you should maybe expand to people here that can do that. They may not know how to do that.
Yeah, like according to me, since even Kia, to top up on what Kia said, sometimes like, when let's say for us, we're here abroad and we have families who live in Africa. Let me give an example of Uganda because that's where I grew up mostly. Some people, once they see money and you're trying to help them, that's also, you get me?
Yeah.
So most
beggar mentality.
Most Africans.
Do you call it beggar mentality?
Beggar mentality, bro.
Most Africans, like, basically, most Africans, once they see money, they be like, oh, finally, God has risen. They like putting, like, religion, you get me?
But
like,
they say it's overseas. You're from overseas.
God has risen. Yeah. That's why me sometimes I'm like, even me remember. They be like, oh, we have seen money. And
yes,
they be like, what even the thing is? The thing is even, they forget even the challenges that they had.
Yeah.
And they first use a bit of the money for enjoyment.
Always.
And even another funny thing is, the funny thing is, after the next day you have given them 1 week, you call, Mutia, like saying, how are you guys? What did you use the money for? Oh, sorry, you know what? I used the money to do this, I did this, but they don't tell you. They don't go back to the main point of what they use the money for. And then after like some days you hear, oh, we needed like an extra money so that we can top up of our poverty. Yeah. And you be like, I gave you even more extra money than what even you asked. So where is the balance? That's why I'm saying, okay, to cut that story short, like I'm saying, if you want to do something helpful to someone, you rather go there directly and do the job done. Because right now,
like if they need a cooker,
exactly,
give them a cooker.
Get them a cooker.
That's
if
how
they
I
need something, pack it very well, send it to them. Even take a picture for evidence. That's why I'm saying nowadays. That's why I'm saying generation to generation is evolving and changing. That's why I'm saying like I myself, I'm like, if they need a lot of money, I'll go there. I get what they want.
Yeah.
Because
fill their pantry or whatever. For
exactly. Why would I look after someone's family for a long period of time yet even you don't have a strategy of your business? Because Africans need to wake up. The majority, let me not say all. They need to wake up. They need to make business planning. The majority said there are no jobs. Me, when I went there in January, jobs were there. I'm telling you.
They're just lazy, I think.
I myself, I had to look for someone a job. And I had to ask a friend of mine, do you have a vacancy in a job? They said yes. I was like, oh, so these people want me to look for them a job in Uganda. I was like, I'm not going to.
While you're visiting.
While I'm visiting.
Imagine. You want to go on holiday, but now you're looking for jobs.
You get me? It's like, did I come here to do a job for someone? How much are they paying me? And no, because
But that's major key. What you're saying is major key.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, let people stop crying about poverty. We do understand poverty is there.
Yeah, we don't want to talk from where we are.
Exactly. We're not trying to. I'm not trying to talk about where I'm currently. I'm well off or what. No, I'm not even well off right now. I'm also suffering too. If I wanted to go to Uganda, I'll be going like twice in a year.
But you go out and grind, like you
get me. I hustle.
Yeah, they don't understand what it takes to get there. One of the cousins mentioned me. Daddy's coming. You find some phone that you have there or laptop. Let him bring.
Send me your old phone.
I have phone like this.
That is the whole story of mine.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's very insightful. One thing I want to get to with you guys is how does your knowledge or experience of your own upbringing, right? And nurturing, how does it affect the way that you see and treat people in terms of your relationships, family, and the way you treat other people?
That's one is a good one. Do you want to begin?
Do you want to start?
Do you want to start?
I want to start.
You want to elaborate further? That's deep.
That's deep.
Listen.
Relationship, family.
Relationships, family, and people in general. So, I was brought up with